Good evening. I'm Lester Holt in New York. Brian Williams is in Haiti tonight, a country brought to its knees by a catastrophic 7.0 earthquake. And we want to go straight to Brian now at the Port-au-Prince airport, where relief supplies are already arriving this evening. Brian, good evening.
Lester, good evening to you from Port-au-Prince in Haiti, and a special good evening to those viewers joining us in western parts of the United States. To put it bluntly, we're standing in some of the only lights tonight in Port-au-Prince. The only way you have power is if you're fortunate enough to have a generator. We're on an active tarmac here at the airport, at the Port-au-Prince International Airport. The other lights supplied by a Canadian C-130 behind us. Canada to be one of the first nations today supplying relief supplies coming in this airport. And until tonight, at a later point tonight, we're going to have air traffic control courtesy of the U.S. Air Force. So far, it's been a very disorganized system of pilots just talking to each other. Again, a desperate situation here in Haiti tonight, Lester. A nation that is desperate on a good day, as they say. These are people with very little on a daily basis, and this is an absolute crisis. They're still doing triage, still doing search and rescue. It'll be quite some time, I think, before we have a handle on an approximate death toll. The scenes downtown are horrific and stomach-turning, and while no one doubts that there will be an air bridge of aid and relief coming in here, it's going to take a lot of organization. Already, as you'll hear later, it's starting to come in the airport. The problem is getting it to those who need it. Lester?
Yeah, and Brian, as you look at those pictures, the question where to start. This was the worst earthquake to hit the region in more than 200 years. Centered just west of densely populated Port-au-Prince, a city of 2 million people, now largely in ruins. Bodies are reportedly stacked in the streets. Schools, hospitals, churches, and homes have collapsed. Search and rescue efforts are severely hampered. Food, shelter, water, and especially medical care, all in short supply. A country ripped apart.
We need more people down here.
In the dark of night, the UN peacekeepers desperately try to reach some of their own, gingerly climbing over concrete slabs until yesterday, the walls of the UN's headquarters. At last count, 100 peacekeepers were still missing, including the UN mission chief.
Are they alive?
Are they alive? A question asked all over the capital of Port-au-Prince. 2 million people were within 10 miles of the epicenter yesterday when the 7.0 quake struck just before 5 p.m. The quake lasted a minute. The intensity so strong, within seconds, a cloud of dust covered the city.
The world is coming to an end.
Overnight, for 10 hours, more than 30 strong tremors. Today, Haiti is in shock, covered in dust and blood.
People are losing everything they have.
The Salvation Army's disaster services director was driving home when the quake hit.
It was absolutely the most horrific thing I've ever seen. There were thousands of people in the streets, and the wails and the moaning and the crying of people who were desperate was overwhelming, to be honest.
There is no way of knowing how many are dead. The country's president, René Préval, said perhaps thousands. He described the scene as unimaginable, a catastrophe. The Red Cross says 3 million people, a third of the country, are affected. Bodies hastily covered with sheets or whatever could be found are scattered on streets. Among the dead, the Catholic Archbishop. So many hospitals damaged or overwhelmed with victims.
Oh my God, I can't begin to tell you. Hospitals are collapsing. It's horrible down here. There is no health care.
Streets are turned into makeshift triage clinics.
We saw that the hospitals were full of wounded people, and in some cases you could just see that they would not have long to live.
Downtown Port-au-Prince is devastated. This was the National Palace, home to the country's first family, now collapsed along with the cathedral, many government buildings, the main prison, and schools.
No phone, no food, no water, nothing.
Telephone service is out, as well as power in most places. Homes split apart, corrugated shacks perched on the side of hills leveled. For the tens of thousands of homeless, for some, the only refuge, a piece of cardboard. Commander Diane Durham on a U.S. Coast Guard cutter just arrived in Port-au-Prince Bay.
It is hard to look out in this harbor and see a building that has not been affected. It ranges from the waterfront up the hills to the large buildings, churches, mansions, or little corrugated shanties. It doesn't matter. Everybody in the city has been hit.
President Obama offered Haiti whatever it needs.
Indeed, for a country and a people who are no strangers to hardship and suffering, this tragedy seems especially cruel and incomprehensible.
Haiti, a country which only seems to know the worst of times, is tonight just trying to survive. Waiting for that help that certainly won't come soon enough. We want to go back to Port-au-Prince now and to Brian, who's along with many of our other NBC colleagues there. Brian?
And Lester, among the members of our on-air team here tonight, Kerry Sanders, Ann Curry, Al Roker. Kerry, we were figuring you probably lived here for about a year of your life in total.
If you count all the time that I've been in this country over the past decades, I flew over Port-au-Prince today, and it is a city crushed. Building after home after hillside that has just collapsed. People who were inside and got out are not going back even to homes that are standing, and many people are still trapped in the rubble. Some may still be alive, but getting out alive at this point will be a very desperate time. Brian, I've always thought that this is the saddest place on earth, and tonight it absolutely is.
And Ann, we keep returning to that word desperate, desperation. Some of that we're seeing at the gates of this airport late today.
That's right. The gates were crowded. People's lined up, people being pushed back. No, you can't come in. And some of those people were covered in dust. They had open wounds. They had obviously not been treated. Some had gotten some treatment. But what bottom line is that they're all looking for a way out because they're not getting what they need here. It cannot be overstated how much help Haiti needs right now.
And Al, you and I were out here when the sun was still up. We saw the first relief aid come in, medical kits, one fetal monitor here on the runway. No one here with gas in the car to get it and give it to the people who need it.
That's the big problem. You talked about this, Brian. In Banda Aceh, it was the same sort of thing. Well, that's happening here, but there is humanitarian aid coming in. We've seen Iceland Air. We've seen Canada with C-130s. The Fairfax, Virginia search and rescue team already here helping to direct traffic. But again, the organization of getting the relief aid from here on the runway to out there is obviously going to be a major issue.
And this as people are still alive under that rubble, and there's still time to save them if the help can arrive.
That's right, and Lester, the experts say that perhaps they have 48 hours to be discovered. So it's a grim outlook here tonight in Haiti, Lester.
Well, it's certainly nice to see the activity behind you as that needed relief supplies arrive.